Hello everyone, I'm BatPan, about who uses Panmobile. This is Panmobile if you don't know what that is. In this series of videos, I'll show you guys the functions I learned and found a way for and tested them out myself. If you want to use your camera effects like grain or VHS or anything on your text, then this video is for you. In this video, I'll tell you guys how we can make the camera effects also affect the text. This is a reference video for you guys. The first one is without the camera effects affecting the text, and the second one is the camera affecting the text. I personally used it for my VHS style game, in which I searched a lot and found this. My problem was with a bug it had, and I'll tell you in the video about the bug and the fix for it. If you want to see more contents like this, you can subscribe, and if you like this video, I would likely be happy. This video won't be that long, so without wasting time, let's start the video. Let me first tell you guys what I did. I added an FPS controller from the Unity standard assets. Then I added a camera effect, a VHS camera effect on top of my camera. As you guys see, this is the VHS camera effect, so you guys can see the function. What we need for this project is the virtual camera, Cinemachine Virtual Camera. To add that to your Unity, you gotta go to your window, go to Package Manager, Unity Registry, you go and look for Cinemachine. As you see, I have it inside my project, but for this project, I'm gonna first remove it and add it again, so you guys can see I have errors because my codes use Cinemachine. For example, you come here, you look for Cinemachine. If you don't find it, you can click on here and type Cinemachine. I'm gonna click on it. I'm gonna click on this install. It's gonna, add Cinemachine to my project. So as you guys see, Cinemachine has been added to my project and the error is now gone. Why do I want to use Cinemachine? I'm gonna tell you the reason in the upcoming minutes. But first, how can you add Cinemachine to your camera? I actually created a video on that before. You can get to that video by clicking on top of your screen right now or with a link in the description. If you want to add Cinemachine Virtual Camera for the first time to your Unity Standards Assets first-person controller, it's gonna have a bug. To fix that bug, you can watch that video. The bug is, for example, when you look this way and you press W, typically it would go this way, but with virtual camera added and the looking set to POV, it's gonna, when you press W, it's gonna move this way. You better understand it when you add it yourself. You can watch that video. The reason we need the virtual camera is because when you have the actual camera, inside your camera you have this clipping planes and the lowest amount is 0.01. and it won't go lower than this. When I added the canvas, it would introduce a bug that it would, for example, show the canvas, glitchy and stuff. To add a virtual camera, you click on this add component. You first add the Cinemachine brain to your camera. Then you add the virtual camera, Cinemachine Virtual Camera to your camera. Then, you have to, change the POV to 60 again. And this is the near clip plane. As I told you, the lowest amount here is 0.001. Don't put it at 0.001, it's gonna make everything black. Just put it at 0.002. This is the lowest amount without any bug. As you guys see, the amount has changed to 0.002. You can't change the amount from here. The camera settings cannot be changed from here. You have to change them from the virtual camera. Okay, now the explanation for the canvases. We have three types of canvases. I'm gonna add a UI canvas. Okay, in here, let me add a text to it so you guys can actually see it. Make it white or red actually, so you guys can actually see it. I say hello world. As you guys saw, this is the text, and it is actually rendering on top of my effect, and the effect is not affecting this text file, and it is on top of overlay. So whatever you put here will be put on top of every layer of your game. I'm just gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna call this overlay. I'm gonna call this screen camera, which stands for screen space camera. When you put it inside the screen space camera, it actually needs a camera, so it can put it according to that camera. So you can give your camera like this, or you can click on here and go from assets to scene and find your camera. Then I'm gonna move the text a little bit so you guys can actually see the text. As you guys see, this text is under the effect and this one is on top of the effect. And then I put this into overlay. As you guys see, it is on top of the effect. And the bug I personally encountered when I was, making my own game was when I put it here like this, it would clip into stuff and, it wasn't, near the camera. And to fix that, I tested a lot of numbers, and the number that personally worked for me was change the plane distance to 0.1. This was actually the number that worked for me. When you put this one at 0.1, you have to go to your virtual camera and put this one to 0.002. We have one other type of canvas, and it is the workspace. So I'm going to duplicate this again. I'm going to call this workspace. This is the text put inside the workspace. I want to put the workspace a little bit upper like this. This is actually placed inside the world. This is the canvas workspace. I personally think overlay is the best one, but the camera's effect cannot be rendered onto this. So the screen camera is the best option for when you want to, apply the camera effects onto your text file. This was actually it. But if you want to, change the values of the clip distance and the clip distance of the, camera from inside the code, you can actually use this. Let me go here and create a C# script. This is just a test. So I'm gonna say render camera this clip. You need a reference to your virtual camera. So to use a virtual camera, you gotta say using Cinemachine. You're gonna add using Cinemachine on top of here. Then you go down here and say public virtual camera. It comes Cinemachine virtual camera. I'm gonna call it VCam. Then you need a reference to your canvas. So you say public canvas. I'm gonna name it canvas with a short C. I'm just gonna call it added canvas so you guys don't confuse it. VCam and added canvas. So if you want to change the values from inside the code for the VCam clip distance, you can say VCam dot M underline lens dot near clip plane is equal to 0.03 f, for example. We're gonna check that out. And for the far clip plane, M underline lens is good. Far clip plane, you can give it a value. This is how you change it from here. For the canvas, added canvas dot plane distance, you can change the value from here. This is the value. And what if you want to change the camera the canvas renders to? For example, what if you want to change the camera this one renders from? For example, you want to wait for 5 seconds and then render this text and deactivate this camera and activate another camera, and you want this text to render on top of that camera. So for this one, you need to change the render camera from the canvas from this one to that camera. So to change this one, this is actually important if you want to use this in your games. You have to change the render cameras when you change your cameras inside your actual game. For example, how about I show you guys with an example, as I think this is actually very important. As I used it in my own game. I know that this one is actually pretty important. So you go here, if you want to change the camera, render camera, you're gonna say added canvas, the canvas you said, dot world camera. So this is the function. You're gonna say equal to, for example, the camera I have, camera.main, but this is not it. I need 2 cameras. For example, I have public camera, cam1 and cam2. As you guys know, this is cam1 and cam2. So at the start, I want the render camera to be cam1, which is my actual camera. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna say if input.get key down key code dot, when I press G, I want the cameras to change. So I go down here, I'm gonna say I'll create a boolean. I'm gonna say cam1 active is actually equal to true at the start. So I'm gonna go down here. You guys don't have to watch this part. This is actually an example I'm gonna show you guys. So I'm gonna say if cam1 active is equal to true, say cam1 active is equal to false. And you go down here and say cam1 that enable equal to false. You first have to, it is better to enable the camera first, then disable the other one, the other camera. So you change this, and I'm gonna say else if active is equal to false. You go down here, say is equal to true, then you cam1 dot enable equal to true, cam2 enabled equal to false. So this is a function that changes the camera whenever I press G. I'll just duplicate this. I'm gonna call it cam2, and this one is actually cam1, and at the start this one is actually disabled and this one is enabled. So I'm gonna add this code to my game. So I'm gonna create an empty object. I'm gonna call it code holder, which is gonna hold my script. This is the script I added. It needs a VCam. I'm gonna give it like this. It needs a canvas. This is my canvas, the screen space camera. I need cam1. You can drag and drop it, or you can click on this circle, as you guys know. Instead of adding in adding it like this, enabling the actual camera, you can change it like a game object. So I'm gonna say game object cam1 game object cam2, so it doesn't introduce any bugs, and it is easier for you guys to understand. So for the camera, I'm gonna say game object. This is its game object, and this is its game object as well. But you need a reference to your camera as well, because you want to change the render canvas camera. So I'm gonna say cam1 and cam 2. For this, you use a cam, but if you want to change it from here, which I said you guys don't have to worry about, for this I'm going to use the game object. So I'm going to say underline game object that's set active true. And the false one is for camera number 1. So you can just copy this, paste it here, change 1 and 2. So this is it. This is gonna work now. In your code holder, it needs 2 game objects for cam 1 and cam 2. It's actually like that. Just give it like this. Okay, let's start it. Okay, when I press G, the camera is gonna change. And as you guys see, the hello world text, the second one, doesn't appear because we didn't change the render camera from the canvas. So to fix this, when you change your cameras for whatever reason in your game, you go and use this function, added canvas, the canvas you want the camera to render on, dot word camera equal to that camera. So for example, in here, when I activate cam 2, I want the renderer to be camera 2. So in here, instead of cam 1, I'm gonna say cam 2. And for this one, I'm gonna say cam 1. When I activate camera number 2, I'll set the render camera to the camera 2 as well. So let's start it. As you guys see, when I change the cameras, as you can see, when I change the cameras, the text is still there. The second text, I'm talking about the second text, not the, not this one, not the overlay. I'm talking about that text. As you guys see, the text doesn't disappear because, as you guys see, when I press G, my camera changes and also my, render camera. As you guys see, this is cam 2, cam 1. So this was actually the function. I personally had a lot of problems, activating and achieving this because nobody talked about this with the virtual camera on, and I had to search a lot for it and change the values and numbers myself, and I finally got this. I want to give you guys this information too. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I tried to explain it as simple as possible. I tried to give you examples. I'm gonna go do something for the end of the video as I did in my previous videos. So this is what I created for the end of the video using the things we said in the video. I hope you guys enjoy it.
29 and I find myself wondering what did happen to the last 10. I ran away with my life, fast forward, never turn back again. It's kind of funny that the more we pass time, the more we need to set the rewind. And 19 was the year I had to leave you, but now I'm seeing all the signs. Is this really happening? I can't believe it's true.
Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.